Hola, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. How are you? So I just had a really lovely Live Share Crew. I started Live Share Crew because I went through a phase on the YouTube channel of just broadcasting every single day live, and through that guidance, I ended up meeting just the most amazing group of friends and support systems, like a soul familia. Your vibe attracts your tribe, straight up legit. I've now actually mostly privatized all of those videos because that's a different part of my life, and I'm happy to be here now. And Live Share Crew, do you know what we're doing? We're doing like book club, but with spiritual text. So it's like super fun, and I'm thankful for that crew. Happy Monday, everybody. This is where we do a little bit of fun tarot for divine guidance and entertainment. Nope. For divine guidance and loving clarity, and a little bit of sprinkling entertainment for all y'all lovers. You know, and there's so much razzmatazz out there. I dare say, just come back to your heart and endeavor to love and accept people as they are. You know, and we don't need to get too caught up in the words of things, and you know, heart-centered living, and you go to the science of it with the HeartMath Institute and how to harmonize ourselves, and that's to do with our connection. So however we want to show up, like, by all means, let each other show up like that. We don't have to fight about it. That's what I'm thinking. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it for today. But also, we want to make sure we can let ourselves change, right? And we can change our minds, and we don't have to hold one another in any place necessarily. I'm going to stop talking, and we're going to get into the juicy cards. So divine guidance and loving clarity. Let's see what we get. Divine guidance and loving clarity. If you resonate, feel free to comment. If you want to check out the YouTube channel or subscribe to All to Love, it's a pleasure just to be connected. Hella internet. And for some of us, it's just a joy because we get to meet in person as well. Tower. Oh, do you know, though, I quite like astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I don't watch TV, and I propagate not doing that, but you know, to each their own. But I do tune into like astrology videos on YouTube and different, I guess, philosophical or spiritual podcasts and such things. So the Tower moment is totally relevant with regards to this week's energy. There's something going on in the sky with regards to a huge conjunction. Conjunctions means like things line up, basically. And there's a conjunction that hasn't happened for 2,300 years, which is like a pretty significant length of time regarding ages of time, like the Piscean age. And I don't know if you guys know that song, when the moon is in the southern high. I'm not a singer and I don't know the words, but and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will guide the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Some of you guys just resonate with being like a peacemaker and wanting more love and harmony, and that's the Aquarian age essentially, but through a higher consciousness and better technologies and all of these things. So gosh, it might not look like that on many levels, but that's my heart of truth. And I feel like we're moving to that with greater harmony and a greater, deeper understanding for all of the wonderful diversity on this planet and all the different places that we all come from. And so, because in my personal experience, like finding this deep resource of love has been profoundly healing on all the levels, and it continues to show up like, yeah. So anyway, the Tower, I know it looks scary and it sometimes feels super scary, but these Tower moments happen for a reason. And so this conjunction that's happening for all of us somewhere in our birth chart, it might be a bit of a shock, it might be a bit of a surprise, but trust, there's a reason, and it's usually leading us to a better path. I know for me, one of the great Tower moments happened about now almost 15 years ago, just shazam, crazy Tower moments, and it led me to my yoga journey and career in the now. So like, I'm so deeply thankful. At the time though, you know, like it was like, what do you want from it? And so it seemed like all was falling apart and shazam, but you know, it led to wonderful places. So, and ultimately to me, the Tower moment happens because the foundation isn't firm. if you want to build an epic building, but one of the pillars of your foundations is a bit sagalish or just not very strong, the like Leaning Tower of Pisa, it will just eventually crumble and fall. So I think a lot of the structures in our world, in our global paradigms, the structures of our global paradigm, some of them are collapsing because they're not strong enough, you know. So Tower moment is very relevant with the current weekly energies of the North Node, Uranus, and Mars conjunction in the sky, and these are all radical game changers, and put them all together and you're like, whoa. So expect the unexpected, my sweet my sweet lovers of the Most High. Yep. Trust it. Trust that it's like all good, basically. I know it might not feel like that. Yeah, it might not feel like that. It's like turning up like collapsing structures that just are not true. They're not as powerful as they say. Corruption of power. And again, that's macro, micro. There could be corruption of power on the external, like on the bigger, wider global scale. We all might come to terms with greater levels of corruption that are going on in structures of power, okay? Governmental structures, etc. And then, whoa, like that triggers some really deep healing for many, but this is a positive judgment. This is all like the Love Light Brigade, where it's like that sounds lush and beautiful, but actually when you're experiencing it, you're usually like transforming some deep gack within yourself. It's separation, you know, you're transforming these paradigms or belief systems or value systems that are not true, you could say. Like they're not from a deeper level of truth, right? Whatever that means to you. So thing is, at this point, it's like if we don't res, we don't res, and that's okay. So then simply because we could noodle around and round in the word of like the truth and what is it? I don't know, because it's not, I don't think as soon as you put a word to the truth, it's like lost a bit. It's like truth is something deep inside. And it connects all of us. It's like there, and it's unifying, and it's a Holla Shazam. Like, it's not Holla Shazam, MJ. Oh, okay. But then that's like the message, isn't it? Of our good friend, the truth shall set you free. To thine own self be true. Thine is the kingdom, knowing thyself. Those are all connected pieces in regards to, I would say, some of the teachings that cross all world religions and all spiritual teachings from all ages and pages of whatever text, and it's inside us. So again, it doesn't matter how much we talk about it. It doesn't matter how much we be debating about it. We're not going to get there, not through talking. Anywho, blah blah. Everybody cares. There's something metamorphic going on as well, though. So you are going to eventually get to calmer waters. There's this possibly a shift in perspective and or a rising of your own consciousness into a higher state of thought. That's part of the tower coming down. Okay, so this, for some of you, it could be a physical tower. I mean, we know this. I live in the UK, and there's a lot of sudden eviction notices, and landlords are selling up and and so people that are renting, there's a lot of volatility in the housing market, just simple, like straight up, right? However, a tower moment can also be a shift in perspective, which can often lead to physical towers. But when you've had the shift of perspective first, you can expect that your life is going to change, right? And so you're going to move to calmer waters, but you're going to feel more empowered. That's the straight talk. And then there could be a little period of suspension, okay? The Hanged Man. So there's some major, this is major. This is major week ahead. I'll look forward to doing more readings for us throughout the week, okay? For some of you, there is going to be this sort of awakening perspective shift. So you're having an illumination, and this is going to lead to a kind of ego death, a death process on some level. That's not, again, to instill fear. It's the fact that when we have a perspective shift, it can often radicalize or just totally transform what we once believed. I've had these many times in my life. Like, insights or aha, or just straight up like moments where you're like, oh my God. And like, you can't put words to it because it's just so exquisitely, profoundly unifying, like next level liberation vibration. And that's like something where it's like, you can like spin rhetoric, right? We can all read something and be like, that sounds nice, I'll talk about miracles, or I'll talk about this. But I would recommend like endeavoring to live it so that you have the direct experience, because that is like no going back. And I remember speaking to this years ago, where I was having a really elevated phase of creative flow in my life, heeding an intuitive call, right? And I remember speaking to this of like, it's not, you don't just talk about it, it's visceral. You'll know because you're living the experience of that sense of liberation, right? And so that's heeding a call will lead to salvation on some such levels, right? Oh, ooh, interesting. Oh, so for some of you, this whole metamorphosis transformation is leading to new love. For some of you, it could be the return of a soulmate. But you remember this, there's likely to be a bit of a metamorphosis, a death process, something that you're letting go of. And then return somebody you know from your past, a soulmate. This is new love, really lovely, beautiful energies. Oh, see what I'm talking about? So like, but then it's like friendliness, more friends that you align with. The sun, there again, there's two people there, so that makes me feel there is likely to be a return, a soulmate, something very grounded, something very friendly, wholesome, but of course connected. And a loving connection that has the potential to create worlds, to create gardens. It's like the Garden of Eden, you guys. This card keeps coming up. It came up in quite a few of the monthly readings on the YouTube channel. The eagle, fly like an eagle into the future. Just go fly. This is also, so this is connected. This is a dominant portion of you that's likely to have like a perspective shift, rather a huge tower on the physical manifestation level. So you're likely to just have some insight. So higher up, you have a different perspective, and then you look down, you're like, whoa, I didn't see that before. So yeah, fly like an eagle. That's going to give you perspective shift. It might bring things crashing down, but trust it. When things come crashing down, again, it's meant to. It just means the foundation is weak, and it's okay. We can rebuild. We're amazing like that, humans. We're amazing like that. We can rebuild things. Like people, I've often, because I've had this weird perspective for so many years now, and I've had conversations, and I would speak to people about our economy, and they would often go, you're unrealistic. This is how it is. This is how it's always been. I'm like, that's just not true. We created this economy, which means we can uncreate it, which means that we can change it, we can evolve it. We're not victims of this economy. We're not even slaves to it, although there's, we would noodle on that, but we can break free through the emancipation of our mind. You live in your head. It's, oh God. Change, free your mind. Oh gosh, happy Monday, you guys. Oh Lord. Thank God for all of you and me and you. And me, I don't, it's a sing-song along. This is what I'm talking about the entertainment vibratory. The cards are secondary. Just having a bit of a giggle in the hopes that we might sprinkle some joy and sunshine into a world where people might be suffering. We just want to relieve some of that suffering because when one feels a lot of suffering inside, that the only solution is to endeavor to find joy within it and then share it, because it feels more joyful than sharing the suffering. But I've been there too, it's like, don't deny yourself. Don't deny the fact that there might be suffering in the world. We don't need to do that. There's no real answer in denial. Detachment is different. Detachment is different than denial. Denial just means something doesn't exist. You're denying its existence. Detachment is an elevated perspective. Right? We can zoom out, see it from a different perspective, detach the emotional cord, right? This is nice. This is going back to like the Love is in the air. Do 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 do. You guys, just go be the love that you want to see in the world. You know that guy Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi. He said something about be the change you wish to see in the world. That's why I created the Be the Change courses, because I have always sort of done that. It's like I couldn't, personally, I don't want to make people feel bad about their choices, and that's not the thing. I just want to be able to make my own choices. Being a longtime veggie, that was my choice, was because when I figured out that we were slaughtering the beautiful creatures for our consumption, I was like, I can't do it. I don't, straight up. And I have absolute respect people because like natives and, you know, the cycle of life and all that kind of stuff. And there are people who they're like, I can kill an animal, and that's fair enough. If you totally feel good doing that and eating it, you're good to go. My body, my soul, my heart feels better not doing that. So I made a course about becoming vegan and dealing with people's resistance. I was guided to not watch TV anymore. I haven't watched TV for about 12 years. So I made a course about unplugging. Gosh, and that continues. I had to add lessons in that course about social media and discernment and Hal Shazam. So and I think I'll continue to develop them. And then there's the Spirituality Simplified and the Zero Waste. I collabed with somebody on that one. That one's probably the most challenging and also, requires some discernment. So, have a wonderful, happy Monday, you guys. I appreciate you. I love you loads. And just keep loving yourself. And to thine own self be true and all that jazz. Have a great day. Peace.